right, so we are back for episode number 35 with the band Slift. This is Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. We were off last week because I was out of town traveling, and we're back. As you can see, I am not in my trademark fedora, nor am I in my apartment. I'm still out of town. I caught COVID, if you couldn't tell by the sound of my voice, but I'm feeling much better. And I wasn't going to let that stop us from recording an episode. So, as always, I'm joined by Heather,
Yeah, hello.
who's wearing our dynamite shirt in which he's holding the machine gun and I'm carrying the ammunition, which
Yeah,
I like to think is a perfect metaphor for life. And I am, of course, rocking the dude. So here we go. So today we're going to
you're
talk
that
about.
other dude. You're that other dude.
Yes, I'm that other dude. This is the dude. I'm that other dude.
Yes, yes.
All right. So today we're kicking things off with the band Slift, who I know I had seen them before because the cover for their album, I think it's Ummon or Amon. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Ummon. I thought was the Silver Surfer for the longest time. So I remember when we were listening to them, I was like, oh, I remember this album. So
Oh, you remember it. Oh, cool.
we're
Cool.
going to talk about their first album, which is called Space is the Key. And the first track is called The Sound in My Head.
Yeah. And Slipped is from France. And Space in the Key, they released in 2017. Sound in My Head. This music for me was hard to categorize. But, when I first heard it, it reminded me of surf rock. It has such a happy, sunny vibe to it. The sounds the guitar can make are astonishing. Definitely has a heavy psych and space rock vibe. So fun to listen to, and the technical skill of the musicians is phenomenal. With each listen, you'll hear new things.
Wow, yeah. I wrote down that the song starts with some dynamite shredding, like there was a commercial for a cologne called Sauvage with Johnny Depp, where he's out in the desert and he's driving around and he's playing slide guitar, but he's just like shredding on it. And that was sort of the impression I got. Like, this is such a cool thing that it would probably fit a Johnny Depp, cologne ad, like, but not campy or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it turns into like a bluesy stoner jam that reminded me of the band Dead Meadow, but it was sort of like Dead Meadow on steroids. And then the dam bursts, and it just, but yeah, great bluesy stoner stuff. And then the other track we were going to listen to off Space is the Key is Sleeve.
Yeah, this song is more dreamy and psychedelic at the beginning and then really speeds up. I love all the woos. I feel like the guitarist is talking to us and trying to communicate to us through his guitar. This is so wildly wonderful and unique. They're coming to the United States to tour, and I can't even imagine how much fun one of their shows must be.
Well, I like how you're delving into my realm of using onomatopoeia a little bit. But yeah, Sleeve was another sort of bluesy stoner psychedelic swirl of a jam. That's all one word, by the way. And then the tempo slows and you're floating in space. And I think the whole "there's no sound in space" thing is a myth, and that this is what it sounds like in space. Like, it's the song Sleeve by Slift.
Wow.
Um, just an ethereal and then a shift and some progressive tempo change, but like a positive feel to it. Just a great jam, a great album to kick things off. And then next up was La Planète Inexplorée, which I hope my pronunciation is good. And the first track off that is Fearless Eye.
Yeah, and this they released this in 2018. Fearless Eye. I can't believe there are only 3 people in this band. I watched a concert of theirs on YouTube, and both guitarists actually sing, which I did. I wasn't aware of that. They look like they were having such a great time too. Incredible garage space psych jams. I think they may have figured out space travel, and they bring messages from space to us. And it's up to us to try to figure out what they say.
Absolutely. And we're the Rosetta Stone. This show is the Rosetta Stone to figure out what Slift is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fearless Eye, I said it reminded me of the band Helvetia on steroids. For some reason, everything they're doing reminded me of, excuse me, something on steroids.
And steroids.
It's difficult to describe this one in terms of a genre, something you had said earlier that they were hard to kind of categorize easily. I think there's even flute in there at some point. Like I thought I heard flute. I'm not 100% sure, but I really dug it. I like bands that you really have difficulty using 1 or 2 adjectives to describe. Like you can't, they don't fit a single genre.
Yeah.
So, and then we listened to the title track off the album La Planète Inexplorée.
Yeah, and I think the birds must like this music because when I was playing it, a bird came to the window and was listening. And that was so awesome. And in this one I did hear flute. And maybe the birds liked the flute sounds. I particularly like the sound of the flute with the drums and with the guitar. It's just incredibly unique.
This one for me was much more of a bluesy stoner jam, less psychedelic, but then it does become more of a psychedelic space exploration with a subdued and excellent solo. And it's not a meadly solo. It's more like a wah, wah solo.
All right.
Yeah. But I really love, that's the whole Milton Berle thing. Like I love when artists flex a little bit of their muscles just to show you what they're capable of, but they don't have to cut donuts in a hot rod on your front lawn. They're like, I'm just going to give you a fraction of what I can do, and you'll be so impressed that you'll understand what I'm capable of. So
yeah, and you'll like it's like up to you to kind of imagine how great it absolutely could possibly be.
well, and there's such like the talent and the discipline to be restrained and not simply noodle around and mess around, and create something so wonderful from something that's subdued. I'm always really impressed by that. So they've done a great job so far. And then the third album, I'm gonna pronounce it Amun. This was the one going into, for me personally, I didn't multitask or do anything else because you had suggested that this was your preferred album of the 3.
Yeah.
So I said, going into it, my ears are going to be open and they're going to be know it. Not that I listen to stuff while distracted by other things typically, but I really made certain, okay, for this one, I'm going to give this my full undivided attention, even if, the Northern Lights appear in my kitchen like they did to Seymour Skinner when the superintendent came over for steamed hams.
Yeah, and this this album came out in 2020, and I thought this band, because we do a lot of underground, independent bands, and I thought this band might be too big of a band for us to cover. But when you had said that, when I asked you about it, and you said you hadn't heard them, but I think you actually had heard them. But when you said you hadn't heard them, I'm like, oh, well, we have to. We absolutely have to talk about them then.
I don't know if I had her. I had seen the album cover before, so
Okay.
I don't know if I had heard them, but but yeah, but I'm certain I wasn't familiar with them. Even if I had heard them, it was probably like in passing for like 30 seconds on a YouTube spelunking mission.
Yeah.
Nothing worthwhile or memorable. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so the first track was Altitude Lake.
Yeah, and when it starts, it sounds like it's underwater and the birds are singing. And they're doing this with instruments, which to me is just absolutely incredible. Then the guitar comes in, and I also want to mention the artwork on this album is outstanding. It's black and white, and it's just truly stunning. The whole album is stunning, just incredible work. There's a cool mixture of synths and harmonic vocals in the song. There's also a really cool juxtaposition between the low tone of the bass and the high notes on the guitar.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for my. Yeah, this was interesting. It was psychedelic into a stoner jam, and it definitely got a side head nod going. It was interesting because it's like you're on a psychedelic exploration, and then all of a sudden you're in Wonderland chasing the White Rabbit. That's like it. Whatever the sonic equivalent of that was, that's what I was experiencing. So if that's what you're looking, if you've spent your whole life looking for that really specific feeling, then you found it in Slift. And next up, Dark Was Space, Cold Were the Stars, which is a phenomenal title.
Awesome title. A cool mixture of jazzy, progressive, and jam band psychedelic with space elements. The drumming is absolutely amazing. I really like the vocal harmonies too. At the end of the song, the synths really kick in, and you really get the feeling like you could be on a space odyssey.
Yeah, this to me, like you said with the Space Odyssey, this was pure psychedelia. And for some reason, I've written down, and again, I have no practical knowledge of this, but typically drugs are cut with something before they're sold. That way you can sell more of it. But this is pure. Like this song, there's no like this is a pure song. This is 100% song. This is not like 80% song and 20% stepped on garbage. This is like pure. I don't know. I got that feeling. Um, and then all of a sudden, I felt like I was on the Great Space Coaster or Picture Page, waiting for the arrival of Mortimer Ichabod. And yeah, I mean, so far listening to this band, I've just been getting all these surrealistic psychedelic impressions of being in Wonderland or being in space or doing whatever. They do a great job sonically transporting you to these places. Excuse me. And then the last track was Lions, Tigers, and Bears.
Yeah, this song is the bomb. No matter what genre of metal you like, it is in this song. I've been listening to metal a long time, and I can't recall hearing anything like this. I saw on Bandcamp and YouTube comments where they compared them. There were some comparisons to other bands, but I think the pacing of their music and the structure is just so unique.
Excuse me.
It has a joyful quality to it. This kind of music. Oh, you okay?
Okay. Wait, one more.
Okay.
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 I promise. I promise.
Okay. You're all right. This is the kind of music that stays with you and you don't forget. And this song just brings it home.
That's true. Okay, I lied. So first, I would kick myself if I didn't make this joke, but lions, tigers, and bears, oh my.
Oh my, yes.
Sorry, it's just that I haven't spoken so much that my voice is I have like a little tickle. This was the most doom stoner of the songs we've listened to, as opposed to the psychedelic selection from the previous tracks. Although there was some psych, this was the heaviest of the bunch. And then it's like waking from a dream with an alarm, and then it goes straight into doom, doing a Pete Townsend power chord wail. And I wrote it was my favorite song that we've listened to of Slift.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I like it so much, I can't stop coughing. But what a great track to end with. So, another phenomenal recommendation from you, Heather.
Thank you.
The other bands we were going to discuss are Roseneath, and Witnesses.
Yeah.
So, Roseneath, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so Roseneath is from Richmond, Virginia, and their album is called Shine, and it was released July 15th. They self-describe as grunge gaze, and I've been introduced to a new genre now because I've never heard that term. I'm a huge fan of grunge and shoegaze, so I was really interested to hear this. I want to thank them for sending it to us, and I was happy to see it's up on Rob Hammer's channel and Mr. Doom 666's channel on YouTube. And I added it to our playlist, and I hope on those two channels, I hope it's getting a lot of views. I really enjoyed this EP. It has an alternative grunge feel with gazy vocals, and the vocals are clear without a lot of distortion. It does have a bit of a 90s throwback feel to it, and it also belongs here now with a more modern songwriting and song arrangements. One thing I wanted to mention was the album on Rob Hammer's channel. It also includes the lyrics if you want to go and take a look at the lyrics. These are beautiful songs that you can definitely sing along to, and I highly encourage that.
Absolutely. For Shine, I said the first two songs were kind of like if you took Depeche Mode and The Cure, but you made them more of a hard rock type of feel. It was kind of that, you know, that you had mentioned the sort of the grunge, I guess grunge gaze. Was that the yeah, I felt like it would be 80s grunge, even though I guess that's not really a thing, but that was the feel I got. Great melodies and songs. I was truly impressed. I could listen to the whole album as opposed to having to fast forward through any tracks. The third song adds like something the Smashing Pumpkins might have, a similar sort of feel as the Smashing Pumpkins. So I guess they evolved from 80s to 90s a little bit. And then the last are the heaviest in terms of rocking, but still with a great melodic feel. So I will definitely be adding Roseneath and Shine to my playlist because I really do. I again, and it's surprising because we sort of heard from them out of nowhere. They just submitted their album for us to review.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I love
well,
it. I love it when that happens.
yeah.
I love
As
it.
as Hannibal once said on the A Team, I love it when a plan comes together.
That's right.
But yeah, Roseneath, great job. Keep making great music. Definitely, it sounds like two thumbs up
Yeah.
from Heather and I. Um, and then Witnesses, the Holy Water EP.
Yeah. Witnesses is from New York, and the Holy Water EP was just released. I spoke to Greg and HHHG in our Facebook group a while ago, and one thing we talked about was PR. And we got the email promo from C Squared Music, which was kind of cool. Um, and I wanted to talk about it anyway. Also, I've been quietly watching. This EP got written up in Metal Sucks, Decibel, and other places, which is absolutely incredible. So, I mean, we're nowhere near that level, but I wanted to talk about it nevertheless. One thing I really like about Witnesses is how diverse the music is. It also seems like every release is so well thought out. From the artwork to the arrangement, I really appreciate the artistry of the album. The music is slow and atmospheric, and the vocals are incredibly beautiful. I think if I were to introduce someone to Doom, I would present this album to them. Doom can be accessible, it can be beautiful, it can be intelligent and cerebral, but also heartfelt and full of emotion. This is an amazing release, and I'm very happy it's getting a lot of attention. So great job, Greg. Great job.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when you spoke with him um, in the Facebook group. But yeah, the Holy Water EP uh, played very much like a symphony, especially the track "Ballad of Lucy and Mina," which I read as an allusion to Dracula because those are two of the character names. Um, the first two tracks I felt like have more of an ethereal quality to it, but really cool soundscapes, and the third has some excellent guitar work. So really well done. Um, just more solid output from Witnesses, and I already had them earmarked to add to my playlist, but this just sort of solidifies their place in the pecking order. But yeah, I mean, I would say definitely all the three bands that we've heard that we talked about today should be on your perspective radars uh, out there. Those nameless, faceless people that I know are watching us right now on YouTube. But either way, um, I really dug the Holy Water EP. I dug Shine. I dug Amen. I dug La Planete in Explore, and I dug The Space is Key. So I guess you could
Yeah,
say I did a lot of digging.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, yeah. And I feel like if we were going to be a website or a print magazine, we would probably be the metal is somewhat nifty instead of the metal sucks, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But or we can workshop it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I still like Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I don't think we need to change anything.
Nah.
So so I think yeah, that's gonna do it. You got the combination that you always come here for, some great insight and some mirth and some onomatopoeia, and it's been all good. So
Yeah.
thank you, Heather, as usual, for suggesting some great bands, and we'll be back next week.
Yes. Thank
Cool.
you.
Sure, we'll have a good one.